Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq presides over the Council of Ministers meeting and reviews the project of the State's General Budget for next year and directs addressing the challenges and of implementing Al-Batna Coastal Project before the end of the current year. The Council of Ministers approves the promotion of employees during the next 2 years on the basis of seniority for the years 2013-2016. And His Majesty the Sultan affirms the Sultanate of Oman's solidarity with Palestine and the Sultanate's support of all efforts made towards de-escalation of the attacks against children and civilians. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq presides over the Council of Ministers meeting at Al Baraka Palace today. His Majesty began the meeting by praising and thanking Allah the Almighty for His abundant blessings and for the stability, grace and growth He has bestowed on the Sultanate of Oman, praying to Allah the Almighty to continue blessing this beloved country with His grace and to grant everyone good health and well-being. Then His Majesty reviewed the local conditions, expressing his satisfaction with the country's financial performance during the past 3 years and the good results that contributed to the growth of the gross domestic product, raising the financial and economic indicators and crediting rating of the Sultanate of Oman and achieving a financial surplus, which will be allocated towards some economic and social priorities. In this regard, the Council of Ministers reviewed the state's public budget for the financial year 2024, which comes in harmony with the goals of the 10th five-year plan. Affirming His Majesty's care for youth welfare and to prepare them the best way possible, being optimal investment for the future generations, His Majesty the Sultan issued the directives to start the process of establishing integrated sports city to host championship and competitions at the regional and global levels. In this context, His Majesty directed to develop an infrastructure for camel race, being one of the important sports exercised by the large number of citizens, including establishing main racing tracks in the governorate in coordination between governor officers and the Oman Camel Racing Federation, which will lead to enhancing the economic movement in the governorate. After reviewing the performance results of the government unit during the first half year of the current year, His Majesty praised the noticeable development in performance in most of the government units, directing to put more effort during the upcoming period to elevate government performance. His Majesty also stressed on the importance of governance of process, regulations of businesses, promoting user confidence and enhancing services. After the Council praised the preparations of the Ministry of Interior and other relevant bodies on the elections of Ashura Council members for the 10th term, His Majesty stressed on the importance of all citizens to participate in the elections and to select the most competent candidates in order to maintain and achieve goals and to push forward the development march. In line with the rapid development witnessed by the media sector, particularly development in relating to modern media platforms, the Council of Ministers stressed on the importance of developing this sector and creating effective plans to further benefit from these developments in a way that contributes to achieving the Omani media national goals. In light of His Majesty's continuous interest in social affairs and in completion of implementing the system of measuring individuals' performance and institutional excellence in order to raise the efficiency of the government performance, spread the culture of excellence, and encourage innovation, the Council of Ministers approved the promotion of Omani employees in units of state's administrative apparatus, subject to civil service law and other regulations based on seniority for the years 2013-2016, during the years 2024 and 2025. After the Council was briefed on the executive promotion position of the Al-Batna Coastal Road, His Majesty directed to accelerate the implementation of the remedies from the Council of Ministers regarding the challenges facing the project. His Majesty also directed to finalize all related monetary compensations before the end of the current year. Regarding the regional and international situations, His Majesty reviewed the dangerous developments and the cycle of violence witnessed in Palestine, affirming the Sultanate of Oman's solidarity with the brotherly Palestinian people, and emphasized on supporting efforts to de-escalate attacks on innocent children and civilians, and to release prisoners as per the principle of the international humanitarian law. His Majesty also emphasized that the international community must shoulder its responsibilities to protect civilians and provide humanitarian needs and uplift the illegitimate blockage of the Gaza and rest of the Palestinian territories, in addition to resume the peace process to enable Palestinian people to restore all its legitimate rights to establish an independent state within the borders of 1967, with East Jerusalem as its capital, as per the two-state solutions and the Arab Peace Initiative and the relevant United Nations solutions. At the end of the meeting, His Majesty the Sultan addressed a number of aspects that concern the nation and its citizens, wishing everyone success and prosperity for good of this beloved country and its loyal people. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received a phone call today from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of the Arab Republic of Egypt. During the phone call, the two leaders reviewed the bilateral relations between the two countries and means of strengthening them in various fields. They also exchanged views on several regional and international matters of mutual concern. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty King Philip VI of the Kingdom of Spain on his country's National Day. The Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Central Bank of Oman and the Ministry of Finance, participates in the 2023 joint annual meetings of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank Group, scheduled to take place in Marrakesh, Kingdom of Morocco, from October 9th to October 15th. The meetings will discuss several matters, including sustainable development, poverty eradication, global economic outlook, and current financial, economic, and social issues, in addition to discussing the World Bank and International Monetary Fund governance reform. The sidelines meetings will explore effective solutions to global challenges, including job creation, digital infrastructure, and climate change. The annual meeting will see participation from leaders from central bank governors, finance ministers, and society representatives, experts, and academics gathering to discuss the most significant global financial development and macroeconomic challenges. The Omani Economic Association, in coordination with Musandam Governor Office, organized a seminar on a sustainable economy for Musandam Governorate. The seminar focused on economic development plans and the Governorate Development Project. During the seminar, 2 work papers were presented on the government plans to develop Musandam Governorate. The event was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sayyid Ibrahim ibn Saeed al-Busaidi, Governor of Musandam. Still to come in our news bulletin. The National Records and Archives Authority organized a training program on the modern system for records management in the Wilaya of Nizwa. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Directorate General of Health Services of Muscat Governorate, represented by Adeba Health Center, conducted a training workshop. The workshop was aimed at developing the employees' skills in dealing with patients, employing creativity at work, and dealing with emergency cases and exceptional situations. The workshop was held under the auspices of Her Highness Sayyida Hujayja bint Jafar Al Saeed. The National Records and Archives Authority organized a training program on the modern system of records management. The event was held at Al Dakhliya municipality in the Wilaya of Nizwa. More details in the following report.
To keep the relevant records management employees of various government units up to date with the contemporary legal and legislative procedures for records management, the National Records and Archives Authority held a training program on the modern system of records management.
This program aims to support awareness about the importance of management of records in different government units.
Targeting more than 70 employees representing 25 government bodies, the program focused on the technical procedures for sorting and destruction operations and the preventive measures to protect public records in the event of an emergency.
In this program, we learn the benefits of documentation management and how to keep the records according to the recent classification. This will help us to manage the records in the appropriate way.
The training also comprised an introduction to the services of the Safe Destruction Laboratory, a review of the enforcement status procedures for some employees of the authority, as well as a presentation of the experiences of some government institutions in the management of records.
The specialized training workshop stems from the keenness of the authority to establish a unified ecosystem for preserving national records across the country. From the Wilaya of Nizwa, Salih Bakhalfan al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhiliya, Governorate.
The Sultanate of Oman participated in the regional exercise Indian Ocean Waves 2023, which aims to evaluate and improve the effectiveness of the early warning system of tsunami risks in the Indian Ocean. The exercise is carried out once every 2 years with the participation of all countries bordering the Indian Ocean. This year, it comes in the form of a hypothetical earthquake with a magnitude of a 9 on a Richter scale in the Makran fault off the coast of Pakistan, leading to tsunami waves that reached the coast of the Sultanate of Oman in less than 30 minutes, and with the height of the waves is estimated as about 11 meters. The exercise is an opportunity to verify the correctness of the regional centers, dissemination of the tsunami bulletins, verify that the center receives those bulletins, and verify that the procedures in place ensure that tsunami warnings reach all members of society. In order to provide a comprehensive rehabilitation service to boost the skills and abilities of those with autism spectrum disorders, the Ministry of Social Development, in cooperation with Oman Natural Gas Company, inaugurated the Autism Center in the Wilaya of Sur. More details in the coming report.
Diagnosing and evaluating cases from an early age and use modern measures to develop the cognitive, motor, social and emotional abilities of those with autism spectrum disorders, as well as establishing programs to achieve their full integration into society, will be the basic services to be provided by the Autism Center, which has been recently launched in Wilaya of Sur and was funded by Oman Liquefied Natural Gas Company.
The autism unit was built in a total area of 400 square meter, and it includes almost 10 individual rooms with 4 group rooms, as well as the other facilities.
The Autism Center building in Sur contains 4 group halls, 10 individual halls, and administration offices with specialized cadre in several areas, specifically in the area of special education, occupational therapy, speech and communication therapy, and other rehabilitation services. In addition, the specialists in the center will provide counseling and guidance programs for families dealing with these cases.
This center comes to provide a variety of rehabilitation services for those with the autism spectrum disorders in order to improve their skills and abilities in various fields. Sultan bin Saif al-Sara'i from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate, Wilaya of Sur.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq presides over the Council of Ministers meeting and reviews the project of the state's public budget for the next year and directs addressing the challenges of implementing Al-Batna coastal project before the end of the current year. The Council of Ministers approves the promotion of employees during the next 2 years on the basis of seniority for the years 2013-2016. And His Majesty the Sultan affirms the Sultanate of Oman's solidarity with Palestine and the Sultan's support for all efforts made towards de-escalation of the attacks against children and civilians. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night and stay safe.